friends again. Welcome back. Happy to see you, happy to be there, happy to work for the community. So it's a galactic community now. Now that CE5 is working, it's a galactic community. Friends having responses, CE5 initiative, all getting curious, the group is getting bigger. So new friends in the group. By the way, in the last episode, let's say, we talked about a space station around Jupiter. Really wanted to present it in more details, the little small pieces. It's a lot of info out there, so I'm gonna put a link under the description so you can join the Gaia TV and watch the full series, what they are all talking about, and all these people who are witnessing. They are eyewitness, and they are working within the secret space program. So this is a video where it's where I'm going to try to present to you the Jupiter space station, where you can connect with within the CE5 initiative. This is the deep space easy spot you can connect with, and I tried it, I connected with it, worked quite wonderful for me. It was a deep meditation, I think more than an hour. So I hope this is gonna work out for you. So let's hit it and watch out.
You have shared that there's an intergalactic space station on Jupiter. What more can you tell us about that?
Oh, that's like one of my favorite places that I've ever been. So a intergalactic trade commission of some kind is responsible for the construction, maintenance, and operation of the station, as well as similar stations like it around the galaxy. They're essentially a neutral ground meeting place so that any group, any species, any military representative, diplomatic representative who wants to meet with someone else from somewhere else can go there, have a conversation in a completely secure, safe place where, I don't know, weird things, squirrely things don't happen there.
It's a neutral zone?
It's a neutral zone.
Now this is in space or on the planet
Oh,
itself?
it is orbiting Jupiter.
Okay.
Shielding that comes out quite a bit at a distance. So for instance, there's a camouflaging field, so you can't even see it until you're about 10 miles away. So once you...
So we can't see it from here with a telescope?
Nope. You wouldn't be able to see it again until you're about 10 miles away. So it's a multi-level station, but the top level is this giant glass room that's almost a mile in diameter with floor-to-ceiling windows that are probably over 80 feet. Now, I call them windows, but I'm sure they're not made of silicone glass. They're probably made out of some kind of polycarbon or something like that. So you have this incredible view of Jupiter. The photographs do not do it justice.
Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. So listen up. Before we dive more into this, I think it's important to have a check on his background, because what this guy says, it's completely out of this world. So it's important to have a look on what his experience is, and check this out. Boom.
Well, I'm a captain, United States Marine Corps Special Section, which is the covert military space program arm of the Marine Corps, which was formed in about the 1954 timeframe by President Dwight D. Eisenhower as response to his lack of cooperation that he was getting from the MJ-12 committee. In the late 1960s, they were developing a augmented soldier program to build soldiers genetically from the ground up, which I was in a program in the late 1960s called Project Moonshadow. So I was genetically engineered from the ground up, tinkered with some extraterrestrial hybridized DNA to, be smarter, faster, stronger for soldiering abilities. Was trained as a toddler through adolescence, teenage years, deployed when I was 17 years old for a 20-year tour of duty where I spent a little over 17 years in the MDF, which is the Mars Defense Force, which is a contracting agency that works for the Mars Colony Corporation, which is under the umbrella of the ICC, or the International Corporate Conglomerate. I was in the infantry there on the ground, mostly scuffling with indigenous reptoids and indigenous insectoids territorially, mostly really to test military equipment. And then at the end of that period, was given a promotion, got to go to flight school, and finished out my 20-year tour as a pilot in an air wing aboard the EDF SS Nautilus, which stands for Earth Defense Force Starship Nautilus, which is basically an aircraft carrier in space, patrolling the solar system to keep interlopers.
Now that you know what kind of experience he has, let's see what he still has to say about the Jupiter space station. It's the CE5 deep space location that we connect with within the CE5 meditation. Okay, so a lot of info right now.
It's a round room, so it's completely curved. The interior of the room is basically think of it as a giant flat room, like a giant open space that has hard light holograms that can produce conversational environments, as they call them. Beings come there in environment suits. They can teleoperate sometimes. Creates these hard light conversational environments all over the room. I've never been in that room when there were less than several hundred conversations going on at any given time. Remember, this is like a mile in diameter. It's absolutely huge. The smallest species that I have ever seen in this room having a conversation with someone was probably about that tall. Largest species I've ever seen in this room was closer to 60, 65 feet tall.
What do they look like?
Humanoid. The diplomatic corps is a military organization, and they do almost all of the negotiations, all of the communications, all of the meetings are handled via the diplomatic corps.
And what is that trade going on? What are we trading?
Anything and everything that we have and anything and everything that we need.
The space station itself, like who built it and why?
I was constructed by some sort of intergalactic commerce association. I'm not sure what their actual tagline is, but they're responsible essentially just for creating an environment for positive commerce around the known universe. So whenever possible, they create these stations, these environments for people to come and have conversations to essentially benefit the flow of commerce in the galaxy and the known universe.
When actually was it built, and who runs it? Was it humans?
Oh, it's run by this consortium of extraterrestrials, the Commerce Association. I believe it was built around 1979, 1980.
Did we here, our humans from Earth, have any assistance with that?
I think they may have hired some contractors and we may have shown up to do some of the work, but this is something that they're pretty familiar with, and for the most part, these stations are constructed somewhere else and then either towed in or jump gated in.
Can you imagine that? Yeah. We have been building, helping out. Nobody knows. Now we do.
I watched a giant drinking out of something that was about the size of a trash can that he could get his hand around and drink out of. It was a little surreal, to be honest with you. I've never seen somebody drink something that's that big, just take it up in one hand.
Do they have their own police force on this, the security force?
They have a security force, but again, this is an environment where everyone wants to play nice. No one wants to get banned, from being able to hang out and have conversations here, so everyone behaves themselves.
Have you ever heard of this station becoming under attack?
Never. Never, ever, ever. That's probably the biggest challenge. Sometimes we would have to arrive there and stop near the entrance of the room and sit. There's these padded benches sitting there, and literally wait for your brain and your eyes to adjust, which is a combination of basically sitting, looking up, you scan around the room until your head hurts, and then you stare at the floor until your head stops hurting, and then you look up and you look around again until your head starts hurting, then you stare at the floor. And after about 15 or 20 minutes, you get to where you can actually get up and walk somewhere without your head feeling like you're gonna have a splitting headache. When you're in a room where there are dozens or even hundreds of other species, your pattern recognition in your brain goes on overload, and it's working overtime. Every time you glance around and you're looking at something different, and your brain is attempting to decode what you're seeing based on the pattern recognition, it can cause migraines, headaches, dizziness, blurred vision. There are times when you can look at someone and you can't see them clearly. One of the more interesting things that happened is I was having a conversation with someone, and he reached into his pocket. It was quite a bit larger than I was, about 25 feet tall. Reached into his pocket and pulled out what initially looked like a playing card. He held it up to me really, really close, and as I looked at it, at first I thought I was looking at a face card. And then I realized, that's not a face card, that's a person, and that's a person who's moving. I realized he was handing me a a telecom screen so that I could have a conversation with this person. And it was just, he just pulled it out and handed it to me, and it was, you know, about that thick and about that big. And yeah, it was one of the most amazing things I've seen, because apparently the person on the other end was at the other end of the galaxy. It wasn't even someone who was close by, it was someone who was at an incredible distance. But somehow they're able to establish audio-video communications via some tiny little device that you're able to have.
No line of sight, it's through infraspace.
Right, yeah, something like that.
This is it, folks. This is only a tiny little piece from the whole series from the Cosmic Disclosure. I really encourage you to subscribe to Gaia TV. Many thanks to them. They are really doing a wonderful job about all this disclosure program. Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer has been there. I hope you should watch his series. It's about 6 episodes. So many thanks to Gaia for doing this wonderful job. Yes, one more little thing. The intention of this video is for you to use within the 4th protocol of the CE5. It sends you in deep space, so it's a bit hard, but I think giving you a small detail, let's say, about a place where you can connect with these entities. I think now that you know that it exists a space station there and it is activity, you can use this info within the 4th protocol when you start the CE5 initiative. It's an easy place to go and try to communicate with some entities and hopefully getting an answer. It's the place that I connected with when I had my visitation, let's say. So give it a try. Nothing bad is gonna happen. It might be easier for you to actually know a place where you can really connect with ETs. So have fun, don't worry about it, nothing wrong, it's gonna happen. Try it and let people know.